coming up on our hour, so I want to kind of get this done. So anyway, that's what it looks like there. Notice when I talk, nothing happens. My head doesn't get bigger. The mouth doesn't move. Nothing like that. And we can totally do all that stuff all with the Hubs Blender exporter stuff.
Yeah, and this was one of the things that made us want to make the Blender exporter is because in order to add this stuff before you would have manually had to edit the GLTF file and that was kind of a pain. So we wanted to make sure you can do this in Blender and save it into the Blender file. That's like the important bit too. Is
Totally.
as you add these components, which you're about to do, they get saved as a file.
So there's an
And
animation on this already called idle_eyes that the robot had, and that's what you see when I hit play in here, and it's actually playing the this animation of the eyeballs moving, and I want that to show up in Hubs. And so to do that, it's a very simple step. As long as you have the Blender exporter installed, the Hubs Blender exporter, you can make it play that animation by selecting the avatar. I usually do it on the root of the avatar. And if you go down to the Object Properties tab, the little orange box looking one, and then under this Hub section, you can hit Add Component, and I want the one called Loop Animation. And in Loop Animation, it's very, very simple. All you're doing is telling it what's the name of the animation. And so you just type in, which is a little error prone, I'll admit.
yeah, I mean it has to be exact and it's case sensitive, and you can actually put multiple animation names if you want to loop multiple animation names by
Yeah, like
comma
a
separating them and no spaces. It's like it's a little bit rough right now, but it
yeah.
should get the job done.
But if you just leave it like that. Now, if I had like a tail moving idle
Hmm.
animation, or maybe his little fingers move or something, like a little
Yeah,
breathing.
tail wagging one would be pretty cool, and that's a good point to bring up actually. Like you can totally have extra bones in this. Like
Oh
Hubs
yeah,
doesn't care. We have seen people create avatars with tails and use those bones to animate it, and that's totally fine. Hubs really only, for the most part, cares about the head and the hip joint right now. The hand, it doesn't actually even care about the hand bones, though. As we're looking into hand tracking, the finger bones are actually probably going to matter. So it's best to keep the same names as we have in here right now.
so that's all I did was add idle eyes loop animation, and I'm gonna export it again the same way I did before. I'll save over the old one. As long as you make sure animation is turned on over here, or you can't see it. Sorry, in the
Yep.
exporter options.
It
Oh,
should be on by default, but
yeah.
you know.
Now the only thing is when I go back over to Hubs, when you go to do your avatar again, you can't just overwrite the one you already made. Uh, so what I do is I go to Browse Avatars, and then I'm like, as you can see, I have a bunch of ones that I probably
Yeah,
need to
this
get rid of.
process is a little bit annoying. I mean, so what you can also do for testing this animation specifically, you could also just drag in the GLTF into Hubs just to preview it.
Oh, that's true.
So like as you're iterating over it, you can kind of do that sort of thing. If it's not something that you actually need to be in an avatar to test,
That's actually
which
really, yeah, really helpful to know that.
yeah, I mean the voice feedback stuff obviously is not going to work unless you're in the avatar because it's only checking for voice if you're using it as an avatar. But for things like animation,
Like if I just drag it into this window, then you
yeah,
can
it should.
actually, it'll show the animation play by
Yeah,
default.
exactly.
There it is. See, the
Because
little eyes are doing
it's
it.
just an animation component. Um,
So I do this. I probably should have said that before, but I often do this before I even try to make an avatar. I just drag it in here, make sure the shaders look right. Maybe there's something I missed, like some triangle that got deleted or something. You never know.
yeah, I mean
Um,
everything but the actual like rigging and audio feedback stuff will work just in the GLTF itself. So
so I try to get in the habit of like deleting the one that I already made, and I didn't do that here. But um, let's bring them in again, and then hit save, and then by default it's called my avatar. I keep forgetting to change the name, but I bring it in, and now I hit accept, and now if I look at myself in the camera, I should see the eyes moving, and I do. This is like very difficult. Well, I'll look through my own mouth. Look carefully. See the eyes doing their little thing in there? Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but it's working.